Take a big tumble as rain starts to move through our area. We're on your side with the timing of the rain and when we can expect it to be out of our state.
And the new data from NOAA on if this year will also be on track to be one of the hottest on record.
Plus, we talk about how recent rain events are impacting coastlines out to the west.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And thank you for staying with us for First Alert Weather Extra. Tania, we've been tracking some wet weather coming back.
Yeah, it came a little faster, but it's here and it's definitely moving through north and west central Alabama. So not all of us are seeing rain right now, right, Wes?
Yeah. Are you ready for the weather whiplash because we've got some colder weather tomorrow?
Not the cold.
Yeah.
My coat was put away this week.
I know.
Now I got to bring it back out.
You start getting all the pictures of the blooms and you start to feel these milder conditions, and then winter just, it's back. It just hits you like that.
Bring out the heavy coat.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be dealing with tomorrow. We've got the rain tonight, a big drop in temperatures. The next big thing, let's show you right now as we go to First Alert AccuTrack radar. And Tania also controlling the radar here as we're going to zoom in across our northwest counties because we're starting to see some of this wet weather. And our friends here in Winston County, you can see Eagle, Arley, Black Pond areas, showers moving in there as Tania's circling on First Alert AccuTrack. And all this is sliding to the east, and this is pretty much what we're going to see tonight, just an axis of these scattered areas of rain that's going to slowly work its way south across the area. But I would certainly plan for some wet weather where we do get some heavier pockets of rain. We could end up with a 1/4 inch of rainfall, but you can see over the next 60 minutes as we time this out, it does look like over the next hour that rain will be pushing in around Coleman. So a First Alert Hanceville, Garden City, areas there to the south. You can see around Smith Lake, Jasper, rain's going to be close. Looks like around Saragossa there and perhaps around Poplar Springs, a few showers. And also Berry and our friends around Samantha, some rain there over the next hour moving in. But this is what we're seeing at the moment. I want to expand the view so you can see there's been actually some thunderstorms in areas back to the north, been seeing across Tennessee. And it's interesting because you can see there was actually a severe thunderstorm there across parts of Tennessee, heavy rain pushing through the Nashville area. They may actually end up with some snow before this event's over with. They're dealing with storms today, and overnight and into tomorrow could be some snow that happens there, but that's going to stay off to the north of us. But you can see a fairly decent little axis of scattered pockets of heavier rain in here. Not seeing much storm activity closer to our area, but more rain. You can see this extends way back to Memphis there, so it's still a little ways to go here. We'll see this working south. We're going to deal with this rain probably reaching the heart of the area a bit closer to midnight, especially for places like looks like West Blockton and parts of Shelby County, Pell City, Birmingham, back to Anniston. You can see 11 o'clock, a better chance for some of that wet weather. And it's actually going to be mostly south of I-20. Once we go past midnight, most of that rain will be off to the south. But look at these temperatures, very cold out there. Tomorrow morning, we're showing low 30s to the north out the door and not a major improvement during the day. I mean, we get close to lunchtime into the afternoon. There's 3 o'clock and still showing 40s. Wind chills will make it feel like 30s. And it looks like those clouds are going to stick around for a good part of the day for tomorrow. And then we deal with those freezing temperatures as we go into tomorrow night. So we do have a first alert for rain coming back tonight. And speaking of rain, the heavier rain with this system, you can see we're kind of catching the north end here down across the Gulf of Mexico. There's a Gulf low that's moving to the east, but a lot of rain spreading in across Florida. So that's certainly going to have an impact on Daytona weekend. We got the big race, of course, right here on WBRC, but might have quite a bit of wet weather that we're going to be dealing with for this weekend. But of course, we've got the cold coming back tomorrow. We will see some big changes next week that we'll talk about. But I want to remind you that the Jimmy Hale Mission is opening a warming station ahead of the cold weather this weekend. The shelter will open tomorrow at 6 p.m. and close Sunday at 7 a.m. Leaders with Jimmy Hale are also asking for donations, bottled water, snacks, paper plates, napkins, and plasticware. You can drop that off, donations at the facility on 2nd Avenue North. And taking you now across the country where it seems like for weeks now we continue to talk about heavy rain impacting California, and we've been seeing a winter of severe weather on the central coast there across parts of California. This is after the year started off with beach flooding and damages reported in many communities. John Paulman Terry has more on the impacts happening there now.
The Pacific Ocean has been pounding the central coast this winter, and now many areas of the coast are crumbling, and that's causing concern from residents who have seen the waves wall up everything from seawalls to coastal cliffs.
It feels to me like it's even more noticeable than in years past.
And most recently, this area along Channel Drive has had a facelift.
It's especially shocking just in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, then there's literally no sand.
And at Butterfly Beach in Montecito, if you come down the stairs next to the seawall, there's this big break. It's been here since last year, but if you get your foot caught in this, you could fall straight down.
We were just here last week, and I'm seeing more things like that concrete thing down there.
Along Shoreline Park above Ledbetter Beach, one of the hills has collapsed. It's an area that's geologically uncertain, not just for those walking on the top side, but also if you're too close along the base of the cliffs.
They warn people, don't sit underneath those cliffs.
And more than one area of Shoreline Park has had its problems. Signs are posted, but curious passerbys often get close enough to look over to see what's missing. And in Isla Vista, we've seen a balcony collapse when the bluffs below broke off. This week, we learned 2 buildings have been red tagged, and others are in line for a major reconstruction project when the students are gone for the summer. With more harsh weather coming, it'll also put demands on public works, parks, and waterfront crews to monitor new dangers and clean up the expected ongoing damages.
I've been seeing the city workers out there in droves, clearing the trees, getting ready for this next storm, and I really appreciate that.
In Summerlin, the powerful waves have scoured away the sand in many locations where old oil well caps, some of them very large, are now exposed when they are normally covered.
This also comes as both the east and west coasts are preparing for another weekend of storms, both containing either heavy rain or snow. The east coast receiving yet another round of winter weather just days after that deadly nor'easter. While New England received a few inches of snow Thursday night, places from Missouri to the mid-Atlantic will be receiving snow through tomorrow morning. And California getting ready to be impacted by an atmospheric river which is set to move through on Saturday. With flooding likely along the northern coast, places further south will receive the rain by early of next week. And in a new report from NOAA, they gave this year an over 20% average or 20% chance of beating 2024 as the hottest year on record. This comes after a recent analysis showed that January was the world's hottest on record. Here in North America, this was the 20th warmest January in a row, with the Caribbean having its second warmest January. Not every continent had a hot start to the year. Antarctica experienced its 5th coldest January on record. But are we surprised? And in 30 seconds, we take a check on radar and bring you some interesting weather stories from around the country. Stay with us.
And welcome back into Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt tracking some rain now moving in areas to the north. Right now I'm zoomed in over Hubbardville here in Fayette County. We gave you that first alert, some of that rain moving in. Carbon Hill looks like we're about to get a few showers. There's Double Springs, Ashbank areas there off to the north, and also Lamar County. Looks like some rain coming down now around Detroit. Not seeing lightning though. I do have the lightning detection turned on. This is all wet weather that we're seeing. We back the view out, and this is still well north of Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Aliceville, There's Gadsden, Aniana. You can see this is still back off to the northwest, but later on tonight, this rain is going to move further south. Let's go back to the composite radar, and you can see how all this is lining up back to the north, and you can see the view. We've got that atmospheric river, as Tania talked about. You can see it stretching all the way across the Gulf and across Florida. They're going to deal with quite a bit of rain. It looks like a steadier rain down in the far south Alabama, but this is a front to the north that's going to sweep in behind this system. You see how it's moving to the south, and that's why it's going to turn a lot colder during the day tomorrow. But we'll talk about those temperatures. I'll be back with a full 7-day forecast.
And check this out. In Canada, a mysterious shipwreck suddenly appeared on the shores of a coastal community last month. It was discovered on January 20th by crews with the Clean Harbors Initiative. They believed that it was removed from the seabed due to a severe storm that moved through the area. And even though the age of origins remain unknown, it's speculated that it could be a French or British ship and around 200 years old. Experts say the shipwreck is an example of a wider phenomenon in which climate change fueled storms are uncovering the world's underwater history. And communities in Minneapolis are preparing now for a world cross-country skiing tournament after being blanketed with snow earlier this week. Marielle Moss talks more about how snow removal businesses are hard at work to make sure the city is ready to host this year's big event.
Plows finally got put to use this winter.
We were all excited. We had the teams ready.
Jay Smith and his crew hit the streets at midnight and were still clearing driveways and parking lots 12 hours later on Thursday.
And we're still going, as you can see.
Smith knew of the risk getting into lawn care and snow removal. A bad year is totally out of his hands and all up to Mother Nature.
I actually had one employee quit because he wanted hours and I couldn't give it to him.
But this blanket of snow gives him hope this won't be the last one this season.
I feel like we still got a couple more storms in us, so hopefully we can finish out the season strong.
Another happy group are the 180 athletes from around the world who are competing in the Lopit Cup this weekend and training on this fresh layer of snow.
Welcome to Minneapolis. We ordered snow for you. You're welcome.
Lopit Cup Executive Director Claire Wilson could not be in a better mood getting this much fresh snow just in time for the big race.
To wake up this morning to this, really surprise snow, it's just a huge gift for Minneapolis and for this event.
The race was happening regardless. The course was ready. So the extra snow just makes the course even better to ski on. And event staff had to spend Thursday prepping the spectators' areas in a new way.
Now we're clearing out the bleachers and making pathways. So yeah, that's been a little bit extra work, but we'll take it.
Now Lopit staff just hope the sunshine doesn't melt this gift away too quickly. In Minneapolis.
Well, races for the Lopit Cup will be held on Saturday and Sunday, and the event is expected to bring thousands of spectators. But still ahead, we continue to bring you more updates on the cold that we're going to experience this weekend, as well as take you beyond the 7-day to our next chance for rain. Stay tuned. First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. I mentioned a few moments ago, of course, we got some rain tonight, but a lot of rain south of our area, down along the coast, moving in across Florida, could certainly have some big impacts. Mentioned that Daytona race happening this weekend. Matt and Mickey check in with an update on how this system will impact other areas.
Got any plans Sunday by any chance, Mickey?
Well, I'm not going to the Daytona 500, that's for sure.
But you might want to tune in because we're going to be showing that on TV. Hopefully, we're crossing our fingers.
Yeah, it could be
because-
rain delayed,
Yeah.
but regardless, it's going to be on WBRC Fox 6.
It will be. So we'll hopefully tune in, and maybe the forecast will change. Maybe this will shift farther to the south or speed on up and get on out of here. But here's an outlook for Sunday. We got this upper level system sweeping through the southeast, and you see that area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico. That thing's going to be stubborn, and that's going to produce a big rainmaker for the Florida Peninsula.
Is it called the Daytona 500 because 500 inches of rain? No,
I hope not.
500 miles. And yeah, hopefully it's not rain delayed, but yeah, we do have a pretty wet scenario for that Florida Peninsula.
So here's a look at zoomed in towards that Daytona Beach area. 50s at 7 a.m. Sunday. Or lots of rain, steady rain. This is around 1. It starts to pick up. That's not good. That's not good at all. Still raining at 5 o'clock. That's not good either, Mickey.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good forecast for the Daytona 500, unfortunately. So they might have to reschedule that going into Monday.
Just to recap here, we're looking at 50s and near 100% chance of getting wet in eastern Florida.
Yeah.
That's pretty soupy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully things will change. But hey, if you're traveling down there, you're going to watch it on right here on Fox 6. Make sure you download that WBRC First Alert weather app and get a forecast weather on the go.
Have a great weekend.
All right, it's going to be a cold weekend. We have a front moving in. Starting to see some of that rain now. Our model data was telling us around 6 o'clock and already seeing those showers. You can see right there across our north and western counties, Hamilton, Fayette, and back in towards Haleyville. You might run into some showers heading out on this Friday evening. Further south, you can see we're still rain-free, but it's probably going to be closer 10, 11 o'clock before we really start seeing this pushing in closer to that I-59 to I-20 corridor there off to the south. But as we scan the sky, no severe storms at least or anything like that showing up. It's just mostly all rain that we see. But notice that as we get closer to midnight, most of this has pushed even south of where we're tracking that rain at the moment. You can see Tuscaloosa, Alabaster, Centerville, Pell City, Gadsden, scattered showers. And there's a look at 1 o'clock in the morning, rain sliding into the southern part of the area. Winds out of the north once this passes, and the winds will pick up quite gusty. Notice 42 there after midnight around Hamilton and down at 31 at 7 o'clock in the morning. So that temperature really takes a big tumble there and the winds pick up. So the north wind, mostly cloudy sky, and the temperatures being in the 30s there early in the day. Wind chill is probably going to be down into the low 20s in some areas there off to the north. Very cold start, but we get into the day on Saturday and highs really struggled to break into the mid 40s. We went with a high of 44 degrees on average, but even colder than that for locations to the north. But notice the cloud cover sticks around. So I mentioned earlier, probably a good pot of chili kind of day out there with those temperatures really struggling. Highs only in the 40s. A cold day. We'll see those low temperatures tomorrow night and into Sunday morning dropping into the 20s. So we will have freezing conditions early on Sunday. After that, looks like we will finally start to see some clearing. Those clouds will probably be around tomorrow night, but after that frigid start there, could be as low as some of the new data, the forecast lows showing temperatures as low as 23 degrees there early Sunday morning. So giving you the first alert for a very cold start to the day. You can see there President's Day, mostly sunny, a high of 60 degrees, and then into next week by Wednesday and Thursday, highs back to near 71. So we are going to see another big warm up on the way for next week. You did notice there Tuesday had just a small chance for a shower, but after tonight, it looks like the next best chance for rain is system that we're tracking for next Thursday and into next Friday. As we go to meteorologist Tania Michelle. Tania, you've got the First Alert weather calendar, and we had those days highlighted. And then also looking ahead towards the end of the month, could be a more impactful system there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when we're seeing our greater chance for more wet days consecutively. Although next week we do have some rain in the forecast by Thursday and Friday. Of course, rain overnight tonight and into early Saturday. Let's start there. A lot colder as well as we bring in the end of your weekend. President's Day, we start to see some improvements by the afternoon with temperatures back in the 60s. But let's talk about that rain. Looks like we can see some chances for rain by Thursday. That's February the 22nd, but also again February the 23rd. The good news is the following weekend we're looking dry. At least we finally have a weekend where we're not seeing rain in the forecast right now. So staying dry Saturday, February the 24th and the 25th. But then we have some days consecutively where we could have a chance for rain. So Monday and into the end of your February, looks like that's when we can see rain chances back in the forecast before possibly drying up again by by the 1st of March. So Friday, March 1st, we may have a drier start. That's the good news there. But what about those temperatures? How are our temperatures looking across the area? Well, for majority of the United States, it looks like we can possibly see above average temperatures from February the 24th to March 1st. This is our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, but notice that areas along the West Coast possibly seeing below average temperatures, and that's because of all that rain that's moving through their area. But we might be cold this weekend, but possibly warming up by the end of this month and into the start of your March. So maybe more spring-like conditions can be possible. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra after the break.
Well, it's time for our weather week in review, and starting try to work on getting those later on tonight. But what a week we. Okay, so we're going to get that. We actually started out the week, we had heavy rain. We had a system that brought some hail to parts of the area. Doug Williams sharing that. That was from Bremen to Walker, Coleman County line. And we also had some pictures there from the fog and the heavy rain in the Hoover Bluff Park area. Here's some of that video that we showed. You can see this was from Cindy Bishop there. Really coming down. We had the heavy rain, over 4 inches in some areas.
Yeah, it was a lot. I stayed late. We tracked it all right here.
Beautiful rainbow. There's Chilton County.
Oh, that's pretty.
Charlotte sharing that, and Pam sharing this lovely view. You know, you get the clouds, you get that lovely glow during the evening.
Absolutely. Love that photo. Thanks for sending these in. If you ever have a weather photo, do not hesitate to drop them in on our WBRC First Alert Weather app. We'd love to continue to share them. What's that one from? That one's from Kathy McCoy, a downed tree.
Yeah, you know, the ground gets so saturated. We had the image from Shelby County, that large sinkhole that happened there. And obviously that's likely because of all the heavy rain that we've had there in Shelby County here recently. That was near the Shelby County Airport. We'll have that story again coming up tonight, but Mandy sharing that lovely view. But 7-day forecast, again, we got rain tonight. It's not like that system we had earlier in the week. And then we're talking about colder tomorrow.
Yeah, bundle up this weekend. Temperatures will rebound next week back into seeing highs in the 70s, Wes. Not mad at